Star Wars: The Return of the Jedi takes place, I believe, 6 years after Star Wars Episode 5, and now our heroes are trying to save Han Solo, who is still frozen in carbonite. Now Princess Leia, who was dressed up as a bounty hunter, tried to save Han Solo, but Jabba the Hutt was able to capture her. And now Luke Skywalker came in. He's badass. He's wearing all black attire. He has his Jedi robe, looking like a Sith Lord. Straight up, like this moment was straight up. I have never seen a Jedi in the history of Jedi living who's been alive who was able to pull out a gun and was going to shoot Jabba. Like he literally used the Force, got a gun, and is really going to shoot Jabba face off. But then obviously Jabba to press a button. He went to the Rancor's pit, but Luke Skywalker took care of the Rancor by using the Force to destroy the button with a rock. Just in that scene alone, it was great build up and it was intense. And then when they sent our heroes to the Dune Sea, actually I found out that the Sarlacc's pit doesn't really look like a flower that just bursting out of the ground. It was more of a big hole in the ground with teeth. Now they're forcing Luke Skywalker to jump into the Sarlacc's pit, but then you kind of knew something was up because Luke Skywalker is like extremely calm. I'm like, and you thinking to yourself like, oh, why is Luke Skywalker extremely calm? I mean, he's getting ready to die, but obviously he's a main character. He's not going to die, but still, the scene was pretty good, especially when all of our heroes doing the head nod. So then after that, he flips over and he grabs a lightsaber and starts swinging at everybody, just pretty much going through barracks of just slicing people up and then just having them all fall in the Sarlacc's pit. While all this is happening, while Luke Skywalker is slaying, destroying, killing people everywhere around him, Boba Fett instantly died. I mean, it's kind of stupid how they just kill off Boba Fett. Boba Fett is like a badass, one of the most notorious bounty hunters in the galaxy, and then you're telling me that by just having Han Solo turn around and accidentally hit Boba Fett to have him fall down in the Sarlacc's pit, that was so weak. And then now you got a scene where Slave Leia is now getting ready to kill Jabba the Hutt. She's destroying all of his buttons, and then she instantly killed Jabba the Hutt. Then our heroes destroyed Jabba's palace. They destroyed the ship that Jabba was on, and Jabba's destroyed, Jabba's dead, and now our heroes are going their separate ways. Luke Skywalker's going back to the Dagobah system to finish his training with Master Yoda. And then it has gotten to a point where you see Master Yoda's weak. Master Yoda doesn't have the strength that he used to have in Episode 5. He has gone, I think his age when he died was 900 years old. And Master Yoda passed away. He became one with the Force, and now Luke Skywalker felt alone. Then we saw a familiar face. We saw Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Force Ghost. But then the Force Ghost, Obi-Wan Kenobi, was trying to tell Luke Skywalker about the origin of Darth Vader. But then this kind of scene looked awkward to me. I mean, why was he sitting down? Like, how can a ghost sit down? That scene alone, that scene was pretty good, of course, but it just seemed like it contradicts itself from the fact of the Episode 5. In Episode 5, they was trying to tell Luke Skywalker to have patience. Don't go in to fight Darth Vader, because you might be killed. But in this episode, everyone's telling him, you must defeat the Emperor. You must defeat the Dark Lord. You must go and fight them as soon as possible. Go, go, go. But it's been 6 years since Episode 5, so maybe he did some extra training, so maybe he could be ready. But I couldn't really see that because they didn't really establish all of his training skills that he learned in Episode 4 and 5 when they showed, because you got to go by years just by saying, okay, he is a Jedi Knight. And how did Luke Skywalker become a Jedi Knight? Now, did Master Yoda decide that he's a Jedi Knight, or did Luke Skywalker just wake up one morning and be like, I'm a Jedi Knight now? I just wish they could have explained some of that back of the Rebel base. Han Solo, Chewie, Leia, and Lando went to Yavin 4. And Yavin 4 is like a forest planet. And they told him that they retrieved one of the Empire starships, so therefore they're going to use this Empire starship to destroy the Death Star. Using in the 6 years of progress, or 36 years, I believe it's 6 years or 3 years. I don't know for sure. That passed. I'm trying to figure out. It took the Empire 20 years to develop the Death Star. How did they develop a second Death Star in less than that time frame? I mean, did the Emperor, Chancellor Palpatine, like order more supplies or hire more workers or hire more galaxy workers just to fix the Death Star? I mean, yeah, it was just a really fast time to develop the Death Star. Our heroes went to the planet of Endor. Luke Scott. Now there is this feast in this split planet because the Ewoks captured our heroes, but then these Ewoks saw C-3PO, and then they treat him as a god. And then after all this, Luke Skywalker starts telling Leia that she is the sister. You know, Leia was talking about how their mom was alive. You know, because Luke Skywalker asked Princess Leia about his mom, and Leia was talking about she knew her mom at a very young age. But that didn't really make sense because she died. Her mom died when Leia was like 20 seconds into this earth. So how did she see her mom? Was it through the Force? I mean, it could have been that most people tell me it's through the Force. So I'm not going to argue with that statement. Then at that moment, I kind of wanted like a moment of realization. When I say that, I mean I want a moment where Leia freaks out that she just kissed her brother in Episode 5. I kind of wanted that scene to happen. You know, it will bring more emotion to that scene. You know, just a moment where she goes in her purse, whips out the Listerine and just drinks the whole entire bottle. Like I want a scene like that. Now you got the scene where Luke Skywalker is now talking to Darth Vader. He turned himself in to the Emperor, so therefore he can try to converge his father to the light side. Skywalker just talking to Darth Vader and the Emperor face to face was by far. I was scared. I was so nervous because anything can happen. You know, he's just forcing Luke Skywalker, telling him to join the dark side, just tempting him like, strike me down with your blade and then do it. Kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. Put that blade through my body. Like Emperor, this was a sick MF. I mean, he was just tempting him to strike him down and slice off his head and slice off his balls. And this guy is really weird. So Luke Skywalker's like, okay, my friends are being killed. Luke Skywalker feels all of his friends being destroyed, having trouble with trying to destroy the Death Star. So, you know, Luke Skywalker want to take matter to his own hands. You know, he was like, F it. He took the lightsaber and tried to strike Luke's Emperor down. And then, yes, at that moment, Luke Skywalker didn't really have training of an actual Jedi. So therefore, all the rules and regulations about Jedis not having love, not going out with one another is very, very, very stupid. Darth Vader starts fighting him, and then he got an intense battle scene. You know, Luke Skywalker fighting against Darth Vader. You know, that fight scene was really good. And then after Luke Skywalker vanished, then Darth Vader starts to get inside Luke Skywalker's head. And I kind of liked the fact that half of his face was dark and half of his face was light. That scene was very symbolic, and I really enjoyed that scene in it. And then it was intense because then he mentioned sister, she would do the dark side as well. Like this, like he just snapped. He didn't give a F. He was swinging his lightsaber everywhere, and he cut off Darth Vader's hand. And then Darth Sidious was like, "Ooh, yes, kill him, kill him." At that moment, Luke Skywalker was getting ready to end Darth Vader. You know, he had Darth Vader on the ropes. And then until Darth Sidious opened up his mouth, that's when Luke Skywalker realized, because that scene didn't make sense because if you think about it, when he was looking at his hand, he saw what he could have become, Darth Vader. He threw his lightsaber. I'm thinking to myself, like, why you throw your lightsaber? Why you just couldn't put your lightsaber down on the ground and then you encounter Darth Sidious? Not throw his lightsaber, but I guess that he was just trying to prove a point that he's a Jedi before his father. So then Darth Sidious was like, okay, fried chickens. At that moment, when I first saw the Star Wars, you know, before you saw the prequels, you know, people was like, oh, everyone was just doing the Force, just moving things with the Force. No, we didn't have no Force. We didn't have no Force lightning. Darth Vader, he got up. He's conflicted. He's looking back and forth, decided to pick Darth Sidious up. Through Darth Sidious, Darth Vader passed away. Now Luke Skywalker had to move his father's body. So everyone is celebrating on Endor. So they show different locations. They show Coruscant, they show Naboo. That was really pretty good in that part, just showing all the different areas. And Luke Skywalker saw an image of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Master Yoda, but then they show Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, not the other guy. But George Lucas said that the reason why they showed Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker because when they ascended to the light side, they showed their original form. So if that's the case, why we couldn't see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Yoda as a puppet in Episode 2? That would make more sense, George Lucas, if he did that. This movie is really good. It has some flaws with the pacing, but still, it was well directed. I had to give this movie a Christian Bale Batman. I still enjoy it, but it wasn't as great as Episode 5. But I still had a good time, and still one of my best films of all time, Star Wars film. Guys, that's my review for Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now this review is a little late, but I got sick, and I'm still battling a sickness right now, so that's why I'm not 100%. So my next review, I'm going to have a review for Episode 7. So yes, guys, thank you for watching. And if you like what you see and you agree, click right here to join me in the Batman family. I have more Batman-tastic reviews on the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao.